Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Dear brothers and sisters, today we want to continue with chapter 28 and the story of Moses. As we discussed yesterday, and we said that the example of the Pharaoh is keep happening, is keep repeating itself. The same traits of arrogance, the same trait of supremacy, the same trait of racism, the same trait of the love of this dunya, of this life, and basically the temptations, falling into the temptations. Regardless, you can enjoy the temptations with the right way, the way God have prescribed. But indulging in these temptations, regardless it's right or wrong, permissible or not permissible, legal or illegal, morally or immoral, that's where the mistake happens. And as we mentioned yesterday, there is the example of the Pharaohs repeating itself from the tyranny which we see right now in all these Middle Eastern countries, on all over the world, even in our American politics here. Number two, we see also the abandoning the text, abandoning the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, abandoning the true Islam, abandoning the idea of following the truth because it came from the creator of the heaven and earth. It's abandoning those things which are causing all the problems we're in right now. For example, you buy a car from the manufacturer. The manufacturer, he is the one who made that car. He put the components together. He knows the engine. He knows the brake system. He knows the transmission system. He knows everything. And they specifically give you instructions on how to maintain that car. Dear brothers and sisters, you cannot go and just change these instructions according to your own desires. You cannot come, instead of the engine use oil, you put gasoline. You put diesel, for example, instead of gasoline. The brake system need brake oil. The brakes oil, what do? You bring engine oil. It's not going to work. Brothers and sisters, it's exactly the same kind of example. That in order for the humanity, in order for us to be able to live on this earth, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to comply with the instructions of the manufacturer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Same thing. Because what is we see is malfunctioning of the human race on earth. And the malfunctioning happened because we did not abide by the instructions of and the catalog of the manufacturer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's very important, brothers and sisters, because you see the Prophet Muhammad, like we discussed yesterday, he said, إِنَّ قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ مَهْجُورًا. Indeed, my people took that Quran as abandoned. They abandoned it. They just take the outside, the action, the laws, the spirit, the kindness, the gentleness, the caring, the love for each other, the protecting the rights of each other, being fair, being honest, being just. All these were abandoned. And this is all in the Quran. Dear brothers and sisters, that's number one. Number two is the other part, the people who are not Muslims, they're looking from the perspective of supremacy. They're looking from the perspective of nationalism. They're looking for the perspective of I'm in a Western society, these people are from the Eastern society. So that kind of arrogance and supremacy preventing them from looking into that book in depth and learn it. Dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says about all these people, category of people, if they do not change their ways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take the mercy, His mercy from them. Means He'll leave them, He'll curse them, He will leave them away, He will forget about them in this life. They will go astray in this life. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ هُمْ مِنَ الْمَقْبُوحِينَ. And indeed at the end, in the hereafter, they will be among those who are disformed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change their appearance. They will not going to even look normal. Because they changed the laws of Allah. They changed the truth of Allah. They changed the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change, will disconfigure them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will disconfigure them and will make even their appearance look ugly. Brothers and sisters. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes, like we said, the instructions, the catalog, and He's given us here why are these people have been treated with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's curse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that He have sent وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ مِنْ بَعْدِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bringing here the book. He's talking that He brought Musa, He gave Moses the Torah and the Torah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, this is the catalog for the Israelites or for the Moses nation and the people who came after Moses. These are the people who were with Moses. And the Torah, brothers and sisters, is the same. It's laws. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have to make a catalog, have to make a textbook for everybody to abide with, for everybody to adhere to, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have to have a set rules for everybody. Dear brothers and sisters, when you go and apply for a job and you get accepted for that job and you start your first day in that job, what happens? You will be signing so many attests. You attest to this, attest to this, attest to this, attest to this. Why is this? Because they want to hold you accountable. When you do a mistake, you sign that you're not going to do this. You sign that you cannot take just anything from the store without paying for it. You sign that you cannot be provocative. You sign that you have a dress code. You sign. So anything you do, you will be fired. Everything you do, if you do anything you do against those rules, you'll be fired. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fair and just. And they're bringing these books. Okay, now our books and our catalog is the Quran. Before, at the time of Moses, He brought the Torah, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, same book or same insight. These books to bring insight and to bring the laws, and these laws will not be any effective if they're not applied. It's not a theoretical, it's not a theory, or it's not a book you put it on the shelf and everybody does what he wants. It's meant to be followed and meant to be applied in reality. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said the same exact thing about the Quran in a different verses. This is what He's talking about, the Moses book, which is the Torah. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابِ. We have gave down to Musa the book. مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا أَهْلَكْنَا الْقُرُونَ الْأُولَى. After we have destroyed bunch of nations before, Noah's nation, Salih nations, all these people. Basair means insight. And also, brother and sister, Basair comes from the word Basira. Basira means to see. As if these books, as if this Quran will give you glasses, new lenses, which you will see the truth with it. Remember, if somebody who you have problem with his eyes, short-sighted or far-sighted or whatever, he cannot see correctly. But when he put his glasses, give me my glasses. When he put his glasses on, oh, he's good. He can see things. And this is exactly the people who will understand these verses, will understand the book of Allah. It will give them the insight. It will give them the ability to differentiate between falsehood and truth, between right and wrong. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. The basair, new glasses for you. That's why when you see somebody enter Islam, brothers and sisters, he becomes so happy. He becomes like his eyesight came back to him. He was blind throughout his whole life. And finally, he's seeing. Imagine, brothers and sisters, somebody who's blind and suddenly you got a doctor who have a new technique to make a procedure and he make him see. Sees again, brothers and sisters. How this person will look at things. He will be so happy. He will be so joyful. The joy, the happiness, everything will be look like, oh my God. And this is exactly new. The people who enter to this religion of Islam, after the falsehood, they become so happy and unable, and you say, oh my God, and you see how Islam changing their life, because they were before they had falsehood. They couldn't see before. They were blind before. Basair linnas, to the people. Wahuda wa rahma. Huda. We said the word huda means directions. GPS. Direction. Do this, do this. Do go right, go left. This is acceptable, this is unacceptable. This is how you're supposed to do to treat your brother, how you're supposed to treat your sister, how you're supposed to treat everybody. The people who you have treaty with, you people you don't have treaty with. Everything is the guidance, how I can see things. And then warahmah, mercy. And the word mercy again is encompassing. It can encompass everything. Means imagine a mother had the baby and the baby in his mom's womb. What happened, brothers and sisters? The mother provides. Actually, the rahim, which comes from the word rahma, which means mercy, is coming from that word. So basically, the womb, you can translate it as a place of mercy. Rahim, place of mercy. What that place of mercy does? Provide nutrition for food. Provide love. Provide caring. Provide protection. Provide oxygen. Provide everything, brothers and sisters. Even if the baby is misbehaving, the mom is okay. Unless he does crazy things, he's okay. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we misbehave a little bit, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to do forgiveness. We'll do forgiveness and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us. Dear brothers and sisters, this is the same thing. The rahmah is to understand how can you get the rahmah of Allah. How you can get through the word rahmah is encompassed. How I can get the blessings which Allah have from me by remembering Him, by worshiping Him, by be able to, and the most important out of those with those worshiping and is to be good. Have the good character outside. You'll be the most honest person, the most truthful person. That is what it is. So the word rahmah, at the end of the day, when a person complies, he learns the inside, the glasses, then he knows the directions, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bestow His mercy, encompassing everything. He'll take care of the protection, He'll take care of the food, He will take care of the money, He will take care of the sustenance, He will take care of everything to that person, to resources, him and his family and his offspring. That's the word rahmah means. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned so they may remember. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that we have that defect, that our we tend to be we forgetting. We tend to forget. We tend to. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by just telling us that the books He provide or brings down, like the Torah before, which is we're gonna talk, which is the Torah or the Quran, you need to be able to read it frequently, learn it, go deep in its ayat, so you remember it. And when you remember it, what are you gonna do? You abstain from sins. You will stop sinning. And when you stop sinning, you'll see the rahmah, the mercy, which include all the blessings coming down to you. Allah will protect you. Allah will provide you with all what you need. And the most important, brother and sister, Allah provide is the tranquility, the peace in the heart. And this is very important. What went wrong with the Torah is, again, the self-interest, the temptations of life, the money, the lust, and the people started to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Baqarah, they wrote it down. They changed the verses. They changed the biography of these prophets, of these messengers. They changed. Why? For their self-interest. And when you change things for your self-interest, look for destruction. And that is what went with the Torah. What was wrong with the Torah? They changed the biography of Noah. They changed the biography of David. They changed the biography of they bended the laws for money. They changed the laws. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought the last and final book, the Quran.